It is March 2010. Can you believe it is already here? March 2010. And there are so many new books that are out there for your healthy low carb lifestyle that have come out. Have you seen this, like, big, I've got like big stacks of them.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And so I wanted to do a YouTube video featuring the top 10 books of 2010. You like that little 10 for 10? That's a... Anyway, so we've got 10 books to get through. We've got 10 minutes to do it in, so let's get started. I'm going to start off with the biggie. This one is a huge one. If you've not heard about the new Atkins For New You, and you might be wondering, what in the world do I want a new Atkins diet book for? Well, Atkins, of course, died a few years back, Dr. Atkins, and 3 of the top low-carb researchers, Dr. Eric Westman, Dr. Jeff Volek, and Dr. Stephen Phinney, and I can't talk today, all wanted to do a brand new, simplified version of the Atkins diet. It's called the new Atkins For New You. An excellent resource for your healthy low-carb lifestyle. It's high-fat, moderate protein, low-carb living at its best. Now, Christine's going to tell you about Dana Carpenter's new carb and calorie counter.
This one basically, half the book deals with restaurants and half of it deals with regular foods, and it gives you the carb totals for those foods and restaurants. If you go to restaurants and eat, it lists the amount of calories and carbs.
Carbs, net carbs, fiber, protein, everything. And the good thing is it's so small, you ladies can stick it inside your purse. It really is a nice handy-dandy guide, especially for people that are on the road a lot and you don't really have a whole lot of time to prepare anything. You want to know if you're going to stay on your healthy low-carb lifestyle. It definitely will help you.
And you said it had some drinks in there too. So.
Right. The next one is called Going Against the Grain by Melissa Diane Smith. Oh my gosh, if you thought grains were healthy, we hear about healthy whole grains. You just need to get all those healthy whole grains. Melissa Diane Smith really puts forth the notion you really don't. And it's not just for people who have celiac disease, who obviously have to avoid a lot of grains, but virtually everybody. I'm so excited. I'm going to have her on my podcast show in a few months. But Going Against the Grain, it is a fantastic book for anybody that thinks eating grains is healthy for you. So Christine's going to tell you about this next one. It's by a very famous science writer named Michael Pollan. You might remember him from The Omnivore's Dilemma. He has a brand new book, Food Rules and Eater's Manual. And what's this one about?
It's just basically simple rules about eating a healthy lifestyle, and it's written so that it can be a quick read. Those of you who don't like long books, this one you can read in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. Not
very complicated at all.
Literally it's less than 70 pages long. It's just a little bitty book, but has neat little blurbs of this is how you can eat healthy. All right, so the next one is called The Raw Milk Revolution Behind America's Emerging Battle Over Food Rights by David Gumpert. Another fantastic book for people that are interested in healthy living. Raw milk really is a huge issue right now. All over the internet, you're seeing all these movements for getting raw milk back into our diets again. Unfortunately, raw milk is illegal in a lot of states. We're very fortunate. We live in South Carolina. If you couldn't tell, we live in South Carolina, where raw milk is actually legal.
Yep.
And we actually have a sign about a mile from our house that says, "We sell raw milk," so it's really cool. So get that book by David Gumpert. Now the next one is one I recently had on my podcast show, featured by Dr. Nancy Appleton, Suicide by Sugar. What's this one about, Chris?
Well, as obviously the title says, it's about why sugar is killing us.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a very interesting book. For those of you who have sweet tooth like you do, it tells you the importance of why sugar, in fact, is bad for you, even though people claim, oh, sugar is a real food.
Yeah.
It's very bad for you.
Yeah, and it's innocuous. It won't hurt you. But she actually has a whole list in that book of like over 140 reasons why sugar is ruining your health. You won't touch the white stuff. It's rat poison, remember? If you've watched our videos, you know what that means. All right, so the next one is another biggie. If you thought the Atkins one was a biggie, this is a biggie. I've been promoting a book called Living the Low Carb Life for many years. Well, Dr. Jonny Bowden recently released this new updated version called Living Low Carb, and in there he again features all the popular diet plans that are out there that kind of claim to be a little low carb, and he gives you a review of them. You know, besides the Atkins diet and the Zone diet and Protein Power, he's added some new ones this time. The Biggest Loser diet is featured, the Low GI diet, the all-new Atkins Advantage diet, the Ultimate New York diet, all these diets, on and on. He really gives you a chance to see a quick kind of Cliff's Notes version of each of those diets so that you can choose the diet that's right for you, and that's definitely my philosophy. Find the diet that's right for you and follow it exactly, and Dr. Jonny Bowden helps you do that with his brand new book, Living Low Carb. Now, the next one is by a gentleman named Alan Watson, Serial Killer, the unintended consequences of a low-fat diet, and it is so funny, the title, and I love that picture on the front. Tell us about this one, Chris.
Basically, it tells why cereals are really bad for you.
Well, and not just cereal, but
grains,
carbohydrates,
yeah.
any and all carbohydrates. It definitely is kind of a Cliff's Notes version of like Good Calories, Bad Calories by who?
Gary Taubes. If you can't read Good Calories, Bad Calories, read that book.
That's right. And it's like less than 160, 170 pages. It really is a quick read, but a very important read. And again, he's also been on my podcast show. The next one is a gentleman that's on my podcast this coming up week, Dr. Uffe Ravnskov. He is both an MD and a PhD, and he is one of those people that's been out there for many years as a cholesterol skeptic. In fact, if you've ever heard of that group Thinks, he is one of the leaders of that group. Fat and Cholesterol Are Good For You is his new book here. And oh my gosh, if you think that fat is somehow harming you, eating cholesterol or having high cholesterol is somehow bad for you, you got to read that book because it is an important one that's worthy of checking out and learning all you can about. Now, the final book is a buddy of mine, doctor. He'd love to be a doctor. Josef Brandenburg has a book, The Body You Want from A to Z. He's actually a Washington, D.C. fitness expert. Tell us about this book, Christine.
Basically, you had this gentleman on your podcast too, didn't you,
Yep.
recently? I like books like this because it takes a letter, every letter of the alphabet,
Yep.
and it gives you a tip for getting into a healthy lifestyle.
It does, and actually this book, I was privileged to be able to write one of the chapters. I got one of the letters. I forget what letter, but it's one of those letters. Gary Taubes also had one of the letters, as did Dr. Brian Walsh, another famous low-carb expert. So those are the 10 for 2010. Let me get that 10 for 2010. The books that are the ones that we thought, you know what, you need to know about. There's a ton of books that come out that are out there. I've got my own book, 21 Life Lessons from Living La Vida Low Carb, which I think is a pretty good book.
Pretty good.
And so I wanted to kind of differentiate the good from the not so good from the really bad. So hopefully you will check out those 10 and tell us what you think. Well, that's all the time we have for episode 86 of Living La Vida Low Carb on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and we really appreciate all of your support for the work we're doing both here at my podcast show and my blog. So we'll see ya!
Bye.